Story recapped here. Today, I'm going to explain a drama, fantasy, and horror film called The Twilight Zone: A Small Town. Spoilers ahead, watch out, and take care. In the quaint town of Littleton, heartbreaking news announces the death of their mayor, Trina Grant, due to an unfortunate car accident. Because of her amazing contributions to the small town, such as making it a bustling tourist stop and ensuring it stays within traffic, Trina has a positive reputation in the community. With her death, the town's treasurer, John Conley, takes her place as mayor by default, but he's someone who doesn't have the same goals as Trina. 1 year later, Littleton's condition has plummeted with garbage on the streets, houses foreclosed, and residents leaving for greener pastures. In the church's attic, Jason, Trina's husband, continues to mourn over his wife as he lives as a hermit and a handyman. There, a young kid named Emilio drops by to give Jason the cupcakes and candles he asked for. Checking in on Emilio's art, Jason looks at his sketchbook and compliments his drawings, showing particular favor to a mocking drawing of the current mayor. When Emilio asks why Jason keeps staying in the depressing room, Jason explains that he doesn't feel right staying in his house after Trina died. Thus, the town's pastor, Nikki, lets Jason stay in the church as long as he's useful. Additionally, Jason was told by Nikki that he might feel closer to God if he stays there. Before leaving, Emilio asks if Jason does feel closer to God, but the man can't bring himself to answer. At the church's garden, Nikki compliments Jason's gardening while he tends to the roses. Jason returns the compliment by pointing out Nikki's new peach nail polish, saying it looks good on her. Then, Jason asks permission to clear some junk in the church attic, which Nikki happily lets him do. Noticing Jason's demeanor, Nikki observes that it must be a hard day for Jason, sympathizing that everyone misses Trina too. Thus, Jason says that Trina would have never let the town get to its current state because she actually has concern for their community's well-being. Still, Nikki reminds Jason that they need to move forward. Back in the attic, Jason immediately starts clearing out some of the clutter. Removing cloth from a table, he comes across a scale model of Littleton, so he assembles it on the table. Right away, he notices that every single detail of the model is perfect. Continuing to scan every inch, Jason is in disbelief at how accurate it is, even up to the smallest details such as cracks on the ground. Seeing a wind-up key, Jason triggers the model's mechanisms and the gears turn from within, lighting up the town. Jason then notices the church and looks through the attic's window to see a tiny figurine in his likeness, though he doubts that it's actually him. To double-check, Jason takes a water spritzer to clean the model's church window, but when he sprays water on it, a few pitter-patters of rain happens outside, hitting his window. Albeit confused, Jason shrugs it off before returning to the scale model to spray the church again. Again, light rain pours outside, precisely at the same spot he sprayed water in the model. Later, Jason drops by the Busy Bee diner owned by Anna, Emilia's mom, where he overhears a conversation between two men about the peculiar rain that just happened. While he tries to tune into the conversation, Anna greets him, offering him some coffee. Pointing out the lack of customers, Jason mentions that it must be a slow day for them, so Anna complains how the interstate changes caused by John have given them slower traffic. Just then, the two men continue talking about the rain, where one points out that he could have used it in his area for a free car wash, but it didn't reach his place. Then, Anna checks on Emilio, reminding him that they're going to start repainting their diner. Listening in on those conversations, Jason notes down the issues of the people around him, including Anna's diner. Back at the church, Jason takes Nikki's peach nail polish to use for the diner. The next day, Emilio and Anna notice the new paint job. Anna thinks Emilio did it, so she asks why he didn't use the paint they have, but Emilio tells her it wasn't him. While they continue to wonder who did it, Jason arrives to compliment the paint job. Despite the kind gesture, Anna complains because the mayor owns the building and John might not be fond of the orange color. Jason says whoever did it really brightened the place, but Anna says the orange color choice is strange, though he corrects her that it's more peach. As Anna stares at their diner, she starts warming up to the color, saying it cheers things up a bit. Later, when Jason exits the church, he notices an election advertisement for John, so he removes it. Just then, Jason sees an old woman, Mrs. Turner, trip because of a hole on the ground, saying she always forgets where it is. When Jason says someone should fix the hole, Mr. Turner tells him they've put a note about it in the suggestion box, but John never checks it. That night, Jason takes the suggestion box and starts going through the notes one by one. First, he fills up the hole on the ground, then proceeds to clean up the trash in the entire town and remove a tree that's been bothering people. As the night progresses, Jason continues to clean the street, brushing away the snow, but stops when he hears a dog barking outside. Seeing a leftover chicken bone on his plate, John places it on the scale model in front of the dog, only for the chicken bone to spawn as a giant version on the actual street. Walking around the next day, Jason sees that a resident who was planning to leave changed their mind to stay, likely because of the sudden improvements around town. Jason happily revels in the results of his efforts. At the diner, John confronts Emilio and Anna about the diner's new paint job. With a smirk, Emilio says that they have no idea who did it, making John think Emilio is mocking him. To alleviate the situation, Anna decides to apologize to satisfy John, saying it won't happen again. While John is on his way out, Jason blocks his path, asking if everything is alright with him, but his tone is anything but friendly. When Jason reminds John that he used to work with his wife, John forgets who it was until Jason tells him it was Trina. With quick condolences, John leaves the diner. At the convenience store, the store clerk is chatting up a woman about the tree that was removed from his spot, expressing amazement and gratitude to whoever did it. Jason inserts himself in the conversation, saying things are starting to feel right again, as if a guardian angel is watching over them. When the store clerk tells Jason it's John's doing, Jason gets confused. The store clerk explains that John must be trying hard to get in the residents' good graces because of his upcoming re-election. However, Jason corrects him, saying John was never elected in the first place because the order of succession just fell onto his lap after Trina's passing. The store clerk doesn't care, saying he's just grateful that the tree is gone. When the store clerk offers a free beer to Jason in the name of John's good deeds, Jason declines. In the attic, Jason focuses on the current problems they still have, such as the lack of people driving by their town to stay, realizing that people who drive by don't seem to notice Littleton's existence. Thus, Jason gets to work by making a bright light sign to catch people's attention. The next day, people see the huge sign and are in awe at how many people catch their sign by the highway. Thanks to Jason's signage, the town starts filling up with people. Many drop by to fill their gas or chill at Anna's diner, and many people are walking around the streets too. During one of the church days, Nikki's sermon tackles celebrating the miracles that they're starting to get. With the church packed, many people happily greet John, so Emilio points out to Jason that everyone thinks John is the helper. On the other hand, John is happy to have the attention, glad that everyone is giving him real smiles, and hoping that people are finally warming up to him. Starting her sermon, Nikki is happy that people are back at church, saying she hasn't seen some of them attending mass in a while. In her talk, Nikki mentions being grateful for the person who's been improving their town, calling them the helper. So one churchgoer comments that everyone knows it's John. Hearing that, John revels in the attention, making Jason unhappy about people's assumptions. Meanwhile, Gloria, John's wife, asks whether it's actually John, but he doesn't respond. When Nikki expresses gratitude to the mysterious helper, someone in the crowd thanks John directly. Afterward, Jason goes home with a scowl as everyone starts praising John. On the walk home, Jason picks up a pebble and hesitantly drops it over John's expensive car. Out the window, a meteor hurtles down the town, landing directly on John's vehicle. The next day, the townsfolk watch as John throws a fit over his damaged car with the space rock still on top. With a small smile, Jason joins in, watching John's tantrum. While asking around if anyone saw what happened, John's eyes land on Emilio, who's laughing at his new drawing of John's wrecked car. John aggressively confronts Emilio, so Anna comes to the rescue, telling John that if he's going to start blaming people, he should have proof. When people start backing up Anna's statement, Jason just snickers at the corner. John tries to turn the situation around as he starts a speech about how his car is irrelevant because they don't dwell on the things that go wrong in Littleton. Instead, they move forward and make things better. With his impromptu political speech, John finally calls himself the helper, making people clap for him. That night, while John is walking alone, Jason bides his time before placing a tarantula on the scale model. Meanwhile, Emilio wakes up from bed, goes to the window, and sees the giant tarantula that starts coming after John. Struggling to run away, John slips as he keeps screaming before the giant spider flies away, no longer within sight. Satisfied, Jason puts his tarantula back in the jar. The next morning, John seeks advice from Nikki, insisting that he isn't a paranoid man, but he feels as if someone is playing a trick on him. Before he could tell Nikki about what happened, he notices Emilio vandalizing a wall with a giant spider. When John asks whether Emilio saw the spider, the boy merely smirks, making John angry. Anna comes to stop John from harassing her son. After making Emilio leave, Anna angrily tells John that if he has a problem with her son, he should take it up with her. Later that night, Nikki checks on Jason, mentioning that he seems off lately. She reminds him that there's now a reason to be hopeful for a better future in their town, all because of the helper. So Jason tells her it's obviously not John because he's way too selfish and greedy to help anyone but himself. However, Nikki tells him that nobody is beyond redemption, and that Jason shouldn't be caught up in who it is. Determined to improve their town, Jason makes a bigger and better sign to attract more tourists. After updating the old sign to a snazzier one, Jason sleeps with satisfaction, not realizing that the lights have started to malfunction. Due to the extravagance of the sign, the power starts bursting, unable to support such an infrastructure, which causes a power outage. Conducting an emergency meeting, the whole town meets up at the church with candles all around to talk about the power outage. Everyone starts complaining about certain things in their lifestyle getting compromised due to the lack of electricity, such as someone's apnea machine and the gas station accommodations. When the store clerk asks when the power is coming back on, everyone complains alongside him, so John tries to calm them down, updating them about their current problem. It turns out that because of the new sign, a power overload destroyed the little town county power center, which will take weeks to fix. In disbelief, people complain while Mrs. Turner tells John to just do his thing as the helper. However, John backtracks, saying he never technically said he was the helper, which makes the townsfolk angry. Still, people point fingers at John, accusing him of trying to force everyone to leave so he can buy everyone out at a discount. Unable to handle the pressure, John starts walking away, but everyone follows him. Seeing Emilio sketching outside, John attempts to switch the blame to Emilio, showing everyone his drawings. Alongside Emilio's recent art piece of the new signage, John shows everyone all the other drawings, saying whatever Emilio draws starts to happen in real life. Because of the ludicrous theory, people get angrier that John's trying to blame a kid, so they surround him. Unable to keep quiet any further, Jason owns up to the mistake, confessing that he's the helper and the one who was scaring John. Still, he defends that John was hurting the town, so he tried to make things better. Wanting to know how he did it, the townspeople ask Jason to demonstrate how he helps around, so he asks for some matches. Back in the scale model, Jason uses the matches to make a bonfire, lighting it on fire for everyone to see. Disappointed, Jason removes his wedding ring as he apologizes to Trina for letting her down. Then, he removes the signage just as John bursts inside with a police officer to inspect how Jason does it. Although Jason tells him that he'll need time to fix the lights, John is already thinking about doing better things such as changing the entire town, possibly making it a new Vegas. Unamused, Jason says he won't let John do that, but the greedy mayor just orders the police to take the scale model. Trying to stop the cop, Jason ends up getting into a scuffle with the other officer and bumps into the model's table as the church starts to rumble. When the table falls, it ends up damaging the model. Outside, many cars are tipped over due to the incident. Though no one was injured, the property damage is bad. When Emilio asks whether Jason can fix it, Jason assumes that he's talking about the model, so he says it probably won't work anymore. However, Emilio clarifies that he wasn't talking about the model. Nikki adds that things can be mended if people band together. When Anna questions how they can pay for all the damages, Jason says they have all the resources they need as they walk closer to a giant version of Jason's wedding ring that's left in the street. Close by, a news reporter covers the peculiar existence of the largest piece of unbroken gold.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.